Have you ever looked into a closet full of clothes and still felt like you had absolutely nothing to wear? Not because you literally had nothing, but because nothing felt right. Maybe you changed 3 times before leaving the house. Maybe the outfit technically looked fine, but somehow you still didn't feel confident in it. Or maybe you've bought beautiful pieces you were excited about only to put them on later and feel disappointed because they didn't look the way you imagined. And honestly, I think a lot of women silently blame themselves for that feeling. They assume they're bad at fashion, or their body changed, or they just don't know how to dress anymore. But most of the time, that's not actually the problem. Usually the real issue is that nobody ever taught us how to understand ourselves in clothing. We're constantly shown trends, outfit inspiration, and aesthetic Pinterest boards. But very rarely does someone explain why certain outfits feel effortless on one woman and completely wrong on another. Once I started understanding that, style became dramatically less stressful for me because confidence and style usually does not come from owning more clothes. It comes from understanding. I think one of the biggest mindset shifts that changed everything for me was realizing that style is not really about copying people. It's about interpreting what works for you. And honestly, I learned this the hard way. I remember seeing an influencer wearing these really wide leg jeans and they looked beautiful on her. The outfit had that effortless cool girl energy that immediately makes you want to recreate it. She looked relaxed, elevated, and somehow perfectly undone in the best way. So naturally, I bought a similar pair thinking they were going to have the same exact effect. And when I put them on, they just did not flatter me the same way. At first, I remember feeling frustrated because I thought, why does this look amazing on her but not on me? But then I realized something really important. It wasn't that the jeans were objectively bad. It was that her proportions and mine were completely different. She had a very lean, straighter frame without a lot of curves, whereas I have wider hips and meatier thighs. So the amount of volume that looked effortless on her started feeling visually overwhelming on me. And honestly, that realization changed the way I approached fashion because I stopped seeing style as duplication and started seeing it as interpretation. Now, instead of trying to recreate someone else's exact outfit, I pay attention to why the outfit worked. Maybe what I actually loved was the relaxed elegance of the silhouette. Maybe it was the balance between softness and structure. Maybe it was visual ease of the outfit. And once I understood the concept behind the look, I could recreate that same feeling in a way that actually worked on my body and proportions. That shift changes everything. Because confidence grows when your wardrobe starts feeling aligned with your personality, your lifestyle, your body, and even your energy. And honestly, I think this is where a lot of women get stuck. We build wardrobes emotionally instead of intentionally. We buy things because they looked beautiful on someone else, because they were trending, because we imagined a fantasy version of ourselves wearing them. But then we put that outfit on and somehow still feel disconnected from it. And that disconnect creates insecurity. But the women who usually look the most confident have a sense of consistency. Not sameness, but consistency. They know what works for them. They know which silhouettes make them feel elegant. They know which necklines flatter their proportions. They know whether they naturally feel more confident in softness, structure, minimalism, femininity, or a balance of both. And that self-awareness removes so much mental chaos from getting dressed. But I also know a lot of women hear that and they think, but how do I actually figure that out? So let's talk about that because I think this is one of the most important parts of building confidence. The first thing I would pay attention to is not what you wish worked on you, but what you repeatedly feel good wearing. That pattern matters. Your best style clues are usually already hiding inside your own closet. Notice the outfits you instinctively reach for when you want to feel your best. The outfits that make you feel calm, attractive, polished, and comfortable in your own skin. There's usually a pattern there. Maybe every outfit you love has some waist definition. Maybe you consistently feel better in clean necklines instead of overly detailed tops. Maybe softer fabrics flatter you more than stiff fabrics. Maybe you always feel more elegant in elongated silhouettes instead of cropped ones. Those repeated preferences are giving you information about yourself. And honestly, I think women ignore their own instincts too often because social media constantly convinces us we should all be dressing the same. But style becomes so much easier once you stop asking what's trending and start asking What consistently feels balanced on me? Let me show you what I mean. Some women look incredible in very sharp tailoring with strong structure everywhere. Crisp blazers, dramatic shoulders, sleek trousers. It looks effortless on them. Other women can wear that exact same outfit and suddenly look stiff or overwhelmed by it. Why? Because sometimes their features or overall energy are softer. So they look more harmonious in fluid fabrics, softer draping, or gentler silhouettes with just a touch of structure instead of full structure head to toe. Neither is wrong. It's about harmony. The same thing happens with necklines. You may notice that every time you wear a high neckline, something feels visually restricted. But then the second you switch to a scoop neck or V-neck, suddenly your whole upper body feels lighter and more balanced. That's not random. That's proportions. And honestly, proportions changes everything. Most outfits don't fail because the clothing is ugly. They fail because the proportions are fighting each other. If everything is oversized at once, the outfit can lose shape. If everything is visually heavy, the outfit can start feeling overwhelming. If there's no structure grounding the look, the eye has nowhere to land. But the second you create balance intentionally, outfits start feeling polished almost immediately. So if I'm wearing a wider trouser, I'll usually create more refinement somewhere else. Maybe that's through a fitted tank, a cleaner waistline, a sleek shoe, or a structured bag. Or if the outfit itself feels very soft and fluid, I'll bring in structure through accessories or sharper lines somewhere else in the look. Those little adjustments create visual clarity, and visual clarity creates confidence. I also think confidence grows when you stop trying to become a completely different woman every time you get dressed. This was huge for me personally. I think social media sometimes makes women feel like they need a completely different identity every day. One day it's quiet luxury. The next day, it's trendy cool girl fashion, then hyper feminine styling after that. And while experimentation can absolutely be fun, constantly shape-shifting can also create disconnect. The women who usually look effortlessly stylish are often the women who understand themselves deeply. They know their color palette, they know their best silhouettes, they know which shapes create balance on their body. They know which details feel authentic to them. And because of that, confidence becomes repeatable, not accidental. And this is also why I've become so intentional about building a wardrobe around elevated foundational pieces instead of constantly impulse shopping. And I save a lot of those pieces I genuinely wear and build outfits around them in my LTK, because those are usually the items that create the most consistency and ease over time. Because at the end of the day, style confidence is not really about becoming someone else. It's about becoming more connected to yourself. And once you start approaching fashion from that perspective, getting dressed stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling empowering. So if you enjoy deeper conversations about style, proportion, visual balance, and building a wardrobe that actually feels good to wear, make sure you subscribe. And if you want outfit inspiration or elevated pieces that fit this philosophy, I also save a lot of them in my LTK. And I would genuinely love to know in the comments, what's one thing you've realized about your personal style recently? I'm Wendy. Thank you for spending your time with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.